The devs have shown us some of the bigger things recently for Factorio 2.0 DLC / extension / version 1.2. So they're now calling it 2.0. Just for the record, they're now calling it 2.0.
Yeah, well, it's officially been, I think for a while now they've been calling it 2.0.
No, it's been Factorio 1.2. I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've said Factorio 2.0.
Pretty sure it's been said before. It might have been in Combinators 2.0. That was one of the previous FFF.
Yeah, but that's an internal thing. Yep. Because this means that they've ruined Factorio 2, for the record. We could never have a Factorio 2. Just like you could never have a Windows 99.
Well, technically it's Factorio version 2.
Or a Windows 9 either, because, you know, they'd used the version 9 already in 95 and 98. Yeah, there's never going to be Factorio 2. This is the takeaway from this Friday Facts.
Going back to Factorio Facts 373, they do state version 2.0 is not just about the expansion.
Ah, fine.
Examples of the things that will be in the 2.0 update are the ability to control train systems better blueprint building, better flying robot behavior, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, fine.
I win.
Fine. All right. So, billions of years worth of Factorio. We'd also thought having a normal 32-bit unsigned integer track number of ticks passed would be enough for anyone. You'd have 60 ticks per second, which makes 2.2 years of continuous playing on a single save game. But Factorio is a game about automation, so it was inevitable that somebody would leave their factory running in the background and eventually overflow the tick counter. This would obviously not do. And, yeah, somebody overflowed it.
Yep, it was bound to happen.
Back in version 1.187. Yep.
I did check what my version 12 save was at.
For the record, for those that aren't here for the Friday Facts that we do on Twitch, this is your version 12 save that you've dragged through multi-versions that
Every
now
version since 2016.
sits in version 1.0 of Factorio.
Yes.
Oh my god, poor save file. Yep.
It's at 277,874,566, which is 6.5% of the 32-bit integer.
Yes. So they got a bug report that Factorio crashes at an exact time, and the mod they happen to be running is time tools, which tells you how many days in-game has passed. And it has the total save time file there, which is, what's that? 19,000 hours worth of playtime. Yeah. Did you actually play for 28.5 real-world days? Or did you enable don't auto-pause and leave it running on a server whilst you're ignoring it? Both. Both is the answer. I'm not surprised. Yeah. That's a lot of time playing Factorio, even by my standards.
Oh, yeah. It is still 2 continuous years.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's providing you don't, hit the multiply button and run the game faster. Technically you could do that. You could just cram the game up to like 8 times speed and get there in 100 days. Just saying. It's possible.
It's possible.
So yes, Boss could already identify the usage of the tick type and encapsulated class and semi-prepared it for a change in the underlying type meant that moving to a 64-bit unsigned integer wasn't painful as maybe you could imagine. So the new theoretical limit on the save file is 9.7 billion years.
Should be enough for everyone.
Probably. Change relatively straightforward on the gaming side, but it presents some issues with the modding API. Factorio uses Lua 5.2, which has a single number type implemented as a double precision floating point number double. As the value for floating point number grows larger, level of detail in that type is able to contain decreases. The maximum integer value a double can represent with full accuracy is 2.37 million years worth of ticks.
So out of the 2 to the 64, only 2 to the 52 is what it can hold.
Out of the 9.7 billion years, they can only keep the game accurate and not have a desync up to 2.37 million years worth of ticks. Yeah, yes. So they're going with that. Which means hopefully they're not going to be around when bug reports start rolling in. Yeah.
Also means that you only get 2 to the 12 of Mansada in that double, which isn't a lot.
I have no idea what that means in English.
So a floating point, or a double, which is a double the size of a floating point, it has two components, the exponent and the mansata. I think it's
Okay.
called mansata. And the exponent is the integer component, and then the fraction is the mansata.
Okay. Comment section. I hope somebody's correcting Mojo right now. Okay.
Probably.
Logistic request enabled tweak related to recovering corpse. We have this feature when you respawn after dying, your personal request is disabled to avoid being resupplied with stuff before finding a corpse. Annoying problem is, which happened to us many times, that we forgot to re-enable the request after recovering the corpse. I had to figure out what was going on and why we aren't supplied with stuff. Since everything annoying needs to be automated, we of course had to fix it. So now when you recover your corpse, the setting you had to do before dying is reinstated unless you've changed it in the meantime, which now means that when I die multiple times during my multiplayer playthroughs with chat helping me, firing nuclear weapons at me, I don't have to remember to tick that box anymore.
Yes.
As I die roughly 50 to 100 times during an 8-hour stream, I very much appreciate this feature. Yeah.
It's a lovely little quality of life thing for everyone who has everyone who has the pain of integration being enabled.
That's all right. We've upped integration now. Now when a player dies, you don't have to recover your corpse. Your corpse will come to you as a zombie.
So if you beat the zombie, then you get your corpse back, all your items back.
Yeah, the zombie's wearing armor. It hasn't learned how to fire a gun yet, but that's in the pipeline.
That's coming. That's in the next update, isn't it?
Yeah. So oh, and you get a funny line that tells you exactly where your corpse is. Yeah. So you know exactly where your corpse is, and the line does move because your corpse is now moving around.
Does that mean if it's your own zombie corpse and you're carrying nukes, and then it comes after you, and then uses your own weapons against you, it will start firing nukes back at you?
Yeah, that is going to be the implemented change. Yeah.
Or if you had a flamethrower, so you basically have a walking flamethrower turret.
Yeah, it doesn't attack biters, but it does attack your guns, and your guns don't shoot back because it looks like an engineer. Okay.
That'll be hilarious.
It has been hilarious. Yep. Especially when you get yourself in a situation where you die repeatedly, or you're spawn camped by biters, because then you spawn camped by biters with zombies as well. It's a great combination. Yep. So smart number format, and I'm pretty sure after playing a lot of Captain Ministry, I'm pretty sure this comes like from there. So oftentimes you want to set some sort of constant number, like I want 7.5 stacks here, and doing the calculation manually is of course unacceptable. So we made it so you could type mathematical expression directly in the text fields. So we have a constant of 1 million divided by 2 plus 5 being 7 gives you 142,000 yeah, light oil. I don't think a tank will fit quite that much. But it's cool that we can type them in now.
Oh yeah, and even typing in the K and the M and so on its own is really convenient.
Oh yeah. Rather having to hit 0 3 times.
Yes.
Or 6 times. Yep.
Or moving the slider and all that.
Yeah. So this is a cool little update. I like the fact that we can do the maths. And it's literally just type in the numbers, and you don't have to put an equals or anything silly at the front. You can just type it in, and it'll just, okay, that's a mathematical function. I'll work it out for you. Yeah, that's a cool little feature. I really, really like this. So yeah, it was basically a one-line change. We already had the code to face math expressions to define the infinite technology cost. We just need to find some sort of constants. K for 1,000, M for 1 million. I wonder if B for billion, or they've gone with G for billion.
That is a good question.
Yeah, because there's G on ore. So I'm assuming they've gone with G?
Probably, yeah.
I would assume so. It doesn't really come up in Infinite Research that often, so I don't know.
I've generally found that numbers over about 20 to 40 million things start to get weird and misbehave.
In Factorio or just in life?
Factorio, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was just wondering how much you had to make it count. All right, so then we have the max range indicator. It's the classic underground belt micro that you need to go past the max distance to verify yourself you're placing the underground in the optimal place. Counted 4 is easy, but higher belts being in more complicated numbers, 6 and 8, it's hard to train the visual institution. No, the visual. Oh God. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah, the visual on
Intuition.
That's the word. On how far they reach. Solution is so simple and nice. We wondered how we ever live without it. When the underground connection is at max distance, we've reached perfection. So now the yellow lines get changed over to green if you reach the max. But I have to say, Mojo, you've played an hour or two with a Factorio, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2.
You know exactly how long a red belt is, visually, by just putting it down. You don't have to count the tiles, do you?
On clear ground, yeah, you can generally spot it.
Define not clear grounds.
So in a tangled web of a base, you know, when you're trying to really squeeze something in and trying to work around, you know, it's completely surrounded in other random length belts.
Then you're probably not going for max length anyway, let's be honest. You're probably just like, is there a free tile somewhere that I can use?
Yeah, but as I say, sometimes it could, you know, once it's a little visually cluttered, it gets a little hard to judge.
Look, 4 is fine, 6 is fine, 8 is fine. I do admit that underground pipe at 10...
Yeah, well, underground pipe is difficult.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to really judge against.
Correct. 10 is enough of a distance that I don't have a visual cue on where 1 is to get to 10. But yeah, I've never had an issue with yellow belt, red belts, or blue belt. You got to remember, all belts used to be 4. So, you know, it's yellow belt, or yellow belt and a half, or 2 yellow belts. That's really the maths we're talking about.
There's also a pistol on the floor.
Yeah, we don't question random pistols on the floor. They're a feature.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we get this pretty green line. And I've already said it. And like, I'd really like it if... I know it's a problem. And I know if we went back to step 1, we could probably fix it. But they've made the dash lines green. And...
Yes.
The problem is that's fine. That's a good visual cue. But you're obviously looking at where your mouse is, not where the color of the line is. So it would be better if the other end of the underground changed to something to indicate that, like, you've reached the perfect distance. And the logical color would be green. The problem is it's already green to start with. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe if all undergrounds, when you put down the second half, they were normally blue, like ghost-like. That sort of blue for the new blue that we've got coming in update 1.2, 2.0 DLC expansion. And then when you place them, that, you know, at the right distance, that have this green color that we're looking at now. The problem is, I'm pretty sure if you pick up an assembler, it's already green when you go to put it down, because it's green because it has a valid position, rather than red when it doesn't have a valid position. So you'd have to go through all the Factorio to have a standardized blue for everything, and then you'd have be free to use green for, like, the undergrounds to make sure they're the right distance, which would make this process better, much better. But you have to go through and redo a whole lot of old stuff, which would not be nearly as good, not be nearly as neat either, especially for those that have been playing Factorio for quite some time. And you can't use red, you can't use yellow, you couldn't really use blue either. So yeah, I don't know, rant. It's a great feature. Yeah, it's a great feature. It's nice. It's just the fact that the visual indication is not where the mouse is, it's behind the mouse.
I think I'm just trying to think of, or trying to look up the one downside, and I think it's Protan color blindness, where you can't see green properly.
Yes, and there is a significant amount of Factorio players that are colorblind, but
yes, in
a lot of cases they have actually actually up until now they haven't done anything about color blindness. It's all been mods.
No, it's you got to rely on mods for things like the circuit wires.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the future Friday Facts.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It's even in the pipeline.
maybe we're just delaying the whole release because we're mentioning important things like this that they probably should have considered in the 3 years development up until this point. Okay, chat tag improvements. Strange Pen spent some time improving the features of the custom chat tags. We now have the ability to quickly drag them around, copy them using the pip out key binding, and put them down even when zoomed in, so you can get that perfect alignment. I am really glad. Oh wow, zoomed in. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. But yeah, I am really glad that we have the ability to move them outright. And also copy and paste them.
I feel like in one of the later pre-release updates, they lost a lot of functionality because you used to be able to do, maybe not so much move them around, but I feel like they had more.
They
like
used
you
to
just click on the map and place them, or double click on the map, I think it was, and place them.
Yeah, they removed that, so now you have to click on the add tag button to actually add tags to the map. Whereas previous to that, it was a double click. I have no idea how many people are going to be zooming in to get the green science in exactly the location they want green science according to zoomed in map view. That seems
it seems a little overkill.
Just a tiny bit
for one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as much overkill as having someone litter the map with tags describing the quantity of every ore patch.
There's a mod to do that now. Because it became so many people loved it, and I'm like, why? It's either the color you want or it's the color you don't want. If it's the color you want, put miners on it. If it's the color you don't want, ignore it.
Well, if it's numbers greater than 0, start mining it. If it's less than 0 or equal to or less than 0, stop mining it.
Pretty much.
Move them to 1, which is greater than 0.
Pretty much.
It's better use of your time than tagging it.
Pretty much. Yep. I haven't seen a reason to tag them either, but yeah, it happens. So yeah, I don't know. The tags used to be very helpful, and I remember using them an awful lot when we didn't have fancy text or anything else. They were literally a double clicking you type stuff. And now it just seems like they're a little bit of a pain in the butt to set up, so we don't use them that much.
I still use them, but I've always only ever used them for keeping track of where particular production is made. So a tag one collection of buildings.
Hey Mojo, you know you can press the button on the map view and it tells you the recipes of all the buildings that you're looking at on map view. So if they all look like low density structures, chances are the whole build is low density structures. Just pointing it out.
It's more for keeping track, so I can make a note of and keep track of how much it's supposed to make.
Oh, rather how much it actually makes.
Yeah, so it's like low density structures, and then it's like 750,000 or something.
And then Mojo wonders why it never makes 750,000, and the answer is Mojo designed it. All right, continuing on. So safe sorting.
or I forgot to build half of it, which is usually
the case. Yep. Or add 3 trains that you forgot to add. Yep. So safe sorting, quite an obvious call as well. We now show the last time modified in the load save game dialogue, and have the button to switch between alphabetical and most recent, which is super important actually. As somebody who
kind of useful.
Well, as somebody who I have multiple installs, so 9 times out I don't care. But if I'm going to my Steam install, which is just full of garbage, honestly, it has so many saves from so many different series and random multiplayer maps and temporary saves that I've made for this or that. Trying to find the right one in the list is impossible. So it normally involves opening Explorer, going to the Factorio saves folder, finding the save I want by sorting by date, to then go back into Factorio and then say, I want this letter, and scrolling to that point, because I have no idea what it was called, because it's saved by date, and I probably made the save a week ago, or 3 weeks ago, or it's been moved from a server from 4 months ago. Yeah, so sort by date. Very, very helpful. Now I'm sure somebody's going to request, can we have a sort by playtime?
Of course.
Well, that's another important factor, isn't it?
Yes.
Sort by playtime of my saves. You know, especially those who keep just one save from each of playthrough they've done. They don't want to go digging through them. All right. You know, we have Vulcanus hairspray. Why does Vulcanus have hairspray? And why is Factorio done diagonally? And why is that one blurred out?
I
So
think
many
that's
questions.
Do you know, that actually feels like it's blurred out to the point where you could unblur it. Use one of those unblur things.
But comment section. Or Twitch chat can get working on that right now. We'll see what happens. Yes.
Well, with going back to the point at hand, the Vulcananus. I mean, maybe
hairspray. Yep.
Maybe just seeing what happens if you take a can of hairspray or a shipment of hairspray to Vulcananus
and throw it in the volcano.
Lava.
Yeah. Good things. I bet it's good things. And all the biters come out with just the best do. I also love that there's a save saying it's working. That implies there's an earlier save that says it's not working. Manual lamp colors. Highly requested feature for a very, very long time. As we have an RGB table for, well, in-game, but you had to hook up a circuit wire. Actually, no, trains have an RGB. Yeah, but the lights didn't.
Players have an RGB, trains have an RGB.
Stations
have an RGB.
Stations
have an RGB.
Yeah, but the lights didn't.
No A though, even though there is an A factor.
Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, now lamps have RGB, which means you don't have to set up a combinator to just get a single color. Which now means you've been warned that when you get random blueprints off the internet, I hope they are full of real unicorn vomit RGB lights through every single build.
Oh yeah.
Yep, you've been warned. Naturally also allows for many colors not possible with current circuit network, so I have to see what people do with that. Probably nothing good. Okay, so we get colors of robots on the map. It can happen from time to time. Some of your poor construction bots get left behind and forgotten. They quickly run out of electricity, and their low energy, slow motors often too little to ever catch up to you. Such a sad fate. This is when we added more colors to the robot map visualization. The green ones are your personal robots. You can relatively easily find their less souls this way. I disagree. There are lots of colors for other situations, such as logistics bots delivering to you construction bots of spiders and other players. So, Mojo, I've had a chance to pre-look at this. I doubt you have. Yeah. Name the colors of the robots and tell me what they do.
So, we got green ones, which traditionally was your personal ones.
Yep. Stop. Hang on. Is that currently in Factorio?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
There is a collection of white ones and yellow ones, which, again, currently is construction and logistic.
Yep.
And then we have some red ones, which is presumably is enemy ones.
No.
Because all red shows up as enemy, even though it's the wrong shade of red.
They have to be killed no matter what. They are logistics bots delivering to the player.
Delivering to, not taking from.
Well, personal logistics. Let's go with personal logistics. They are personal logistics of some way, shape, and form. Whereas yellow is construction, white is logistics, and green, yes, are your personal robots. The catch is this is a fairly small bus. Let's be honest. There's
it's adorable.
Well, I'm looking at the top of the line, and the third assembly along is 3 machines tall, maybe 4.
I mean, they could be maximum quality.
They could be, but it doesn't change the size of the build, which also doesn't change the size or the length of the bus, which then tells you straight away it's not a very big base. So you're not searching for your robots halfway across the map, because let's be honest, if you ran from an outpost back or trained or whatever and left your bots somewhere floating around without power, you might not see them for a couple of hours if you're, actually playing the game and building things and doing things. So the fact that they're green helps, but they might be lost somewhere 1,000 tiles away. They're green, but you're still not going to find them.
Before this feature was added, I had personal bots that were lost for 2 or 3 years.
Because you kept just training past them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the way that version 12 base works is absolutely giant lake in the middle of the map, and it takes them hours to slowly trundle across it.
The best way to solve this problem is just request Logibots, construction bots, and take your armor off and put it in your inventory and then put it straight back on. solves the problem, because the robots that were lost out in the network somewhere, or were lost and on their way back to you, just join the closest network. Problem solved. Solves the problem.
I forget why that didn't work at the time.
Probably because you didn't do it. Or you had specific networks that had no room to park extra bots. So, like, you had a robot
Possibly, yeah,
with 350 logi in it, and it's full.
It was also sort of before the network full warning was a thing.
Oh yeah, we got a warning for that now. I don't. Yep, it's been a. Yep, haven't hit that one in a long time. Actually, is it only a warning for nowhere to put things?
Oh, it's storage capacity. But
yeah, not for robots that have nowhere to park.
Robots as well.
So yeah.
Anyway,
we've got red bots now. They're the ones to either shoot or maybe they're delivering you stuff. Supposedly there's going to be different colors for different players, but do you actually care if a robot's flying past and it belongs to another player or a spider? I think my answer is no.
No, not really.
Yeah. So
it's also interesting how far the green, allegedly your own bots, are flying away from presumably what are Clonan's bots.
They're coming back, I think.
Or they could be coming back, yes.
Yeah, I think he's
still
gone
a long way away
for a bit of a run, and he's a lot faster than them. Because they've got no battery power, and we're talking like vanilla bots, not some sort of modded bots where, you know, when you got full legs, etc., they can actually keep up with you. We're talking vanilla bots. Vanilla bots are pretty slow.
Give them work a robot speed 20, and you'll have a hard time outrunning them.
Yeah, you have a point. You have a point. But it's one of the devs. We already covered earlier that they complained because they died too much. Do you really think that they've got to work a robot 20? Yeah.
Maybe not in this specific save.
Yeah.
There's also you also can't rule out that he has maximum quality roboports as well. Within
his personal things. Yeah. Well, then why does he not have maximum quality construction robots for that increased charge time, increased battery capacity? Yeah.
That too, yes.
Yep. So smarter deconstruction planner and force building. Cliff explosives are not unlocked at the start of the game, and with expansion, they're even more delayed. To avoid non-statistical markers for cliffs for deconstruction, when you force build on top of them, we change it so cliffs are only marked for deconstruction once the cliff explosives have been researched. I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't mind it because, like in previous versions of the game, it's sort of not as much of a thing now. Before you unlock blueprints, stuff is just destroyed. It doesn't re-ghost itself.
Yes.
So it's more consistent in that regard.
Yeah, but by the same token, if I'm playing the game and I know cliff explosives exist and I want to mark the cliffs for going away because they're in my way, and I realize that when I get cliff explosives researched and built, like the first 50 are going to be taken off by robots. They're going to go do things with them. And I'm not going to see a cliff explosive till like the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, because I've marked out whole sections of cliffs that I want gone. I want them gone. All right? And I don't mind that I don't get cliff explosives for a little while personally because, well, there are ones in and around the base where the robots can reach that I want gone. Hence why I mark them with decon planner, because I want them gone. And now I can't mark them with decon planner. So I don't know how I feel about this. Especially if you are a player that plays with a lot of blueprints and you slam down a build on top of a cliff structure and then you manually have to build undergrounds or something to account for the cliff, in the middle of your build that drags itself forward mostly on the fact that, it doesn't work because it's missing part of the build due to these cliffs. It means that when you get the cliff explosives, it's not going to be auto-research. You're not going to come back and go, why is there a gap in the middle of this build? Oh, that's right, because there was a cliff there. You're going to come back and still see there's a cliff there. All right.
The real question is, are you really playing the game if you're just pasting down an entire base?
Yeah, lots of people play like that. I'm not here to agree or disagree with how you should be playing with it. But that's how people play, okay? Lots of people, they get the game, they learn a little bit, they find out there are blueprints, they go off to the interwebs, they download whole bases in books, and they paste them down, and they play Lego, okay? That's if people want to play Lego, that's up to them. Play logistical Lego. It's not for me to judge. Well,
because there is no right way to play an open world sandbox.
yeah, there is launch a rocket.
I mean, even that's optional.
No, that brings up the iWin screen.
No, I suppose, yeah. Eventually, if you want to win, you got to launch the rocket.
Yeah, it brings up the iWin screen. So that is the only way to play. The only right way to play is to launch a rocket. Now it's going to involve a few more steps between launching the first rocket and what is the new end game situation. It's no longer launching a rocket. It's building a spaceship. It's building a spaceship to get the hell out of there. It must be. Must be.
Or like a final research.
For bigger and better rocket engines to go faster.
Or build a rocket defense.
Oh, God. We finally get art for the rocket defense. Yep. Okay. So, yeah, we now have cliff explosives. Well, cliffs are going to be ignored when you're using Decon Planner. Also, will be ignored when you use the Super Force building option. And it won't try and place landfill unless you have it unlocked. So, sure. But as an experienced player, just like we have the command, if you ever do a reinstall of Factorio, you find out that you have no, it's not toolbar, it's the shortcut bar. You have no shortcut bar, you have no blueprints, you don't have a blueprint book. The hotkeys still work, but the physical GUI is missing, and there's a command that you have to type in to re-unlock all that stuff, or launch a rocket. I really hope the same applies here, where I can just unlock these things, because I don't want every new game we play, especially when we're doing community maps, we'll play from start game to the equivalent of launching a rocket in 8-10 hours, because the rest of the mod content comes after that. If people are marking the cliffs for deconstruction, they want them gone. Either now or soon to now, or not too soon in the future. So yeah.
If you can get you get, was it uranium on Volcanalysis?
No.
Nukes can also destroy cliffs.
No, uranium's still on Narvis.
So you at least get uranium.
Yeah, but you need yellow science to do nuclear weapons. And when do you get yellow science?
Presumably Planet 2 or 3.
Well, Planet 2 or 3 has new sciences, not necessarily the old sciences. So that's the thing. You're going to get to blue science. You can either stay on the home world and continue with the current sciences. Some things might be, like nuclear weapons, might be locked behind yellow science and melon science. Maybe? But
it's actually not really specified, because it's the first 3 sciences to get to off-world.
Uh-huh.
And then the you got the Vulcan science, the melon science, and the passion fruit science.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know where productivity and utility science fit into that.
I imagine they still fit in on Narvis. I imagine. But I do imagine there are some things that have been moved into the new sciences as well. And nuclear weapons, I would definitely say, or I would definitely guesstimate, is being moved into one of the new sciences as well.
Probably needs at least 2 of them.
1, 2, doesn't really matter. You're gonna have to go and unlock a new planet to get nuclear weapons. And cliff explosives, I imagine, will be before that in the grand list of things. They're not on Vulcananus, they're on after Vulcananus. Oh.
Do we actually get a confirmation that it would be on one of the planets?
Cliff explosives? I don't know. I'm actually not sure. I know launching to a new planet is confirmed as coming before cliff explosives. So whether you need to go to a new planet to unlock something to get cliff explosives, or whether you can stay on the whole planet and keep researching to get cliff explosives, but already have the option to go to a different planet, I'm not sure.
Well, you only need, currently you only need coal and sulfuric acid to make cliff explosives. And because there's sulfuric acid and steel, but that's basic stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have sulfuric acid
not, but yep.
and sulfur on Vulcanus, I imagine it's part of unlocking cliff explosives as part of that.
Pretty sure they mentioned it wasn't going to be. pretty sure they mentioned that it will be later, so you're not going to get them on that planet, so you have to deal with them. Or you can unlock them late in that planet.
It's probably late in that planet, I imagine.
Maybe you need to go back to Narvis and get more stuff from Narvis. So maybe you need some orange science to get some Narvis stuff done to then unlock cliff explosives to then come back and blow up all the damn cliffs.
Because the really rough terrain of Vulcananus, because it has a lot of cliffs.
Oh, it has a lot of cliffs.
So I imagine conquering that planet is blowing up all those cliffs.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's going to be, here's my first ship, 500 cliff explosives. And they're all gone. Can I get a reshipment, please? So, yeah.
Just decon planet the entire map.
Yeah, pretty much. But that brings us to the list of small things for 2.0, 1.2, DLC, expansion. Yep. I don't think there's anything else, apart from when do we get cliff explosives. Yep, that's it.
Yep, that is it.
Okay, all right, that's it. We're out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and we will see you in, well, next week's Friday Facts with trains. Trains, right? Trains?
Or more Vulcananus, or...
No. Trains pathfinding, ordering, trains
changing colour?
Yeah, trains changing colour. No, trains pathfinding, trains, the train schedule. That's the words I'm looking for. Train schedule, early Christmas present. Please, devs. All right, that's it. We're out. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.